Hi, I'm doing my third readathon of this channel's existence that I've been on YouTube for like a month. Ooh, let's do it. It's called The Olympic Games. It's by a booktuber called Ishi Time. I will link her channel down below. And it is a readathon that is happening over the course of next month, in the month of June. It is inspired by the ancient Greek gods, and there's challenges based around each god, and you have to pick one specific god that you relate to or that resonates with you. So I picked the Greek god Aphrodite. She is the goddess of love, beauty, and passion. I feel like I exemplify those things. No, I'm kidding. I literally picked this god because the prompts already suited the books that I wanted to read next month. And I am essentially the queen of trying to fit readathon prompts into the books that I already wanted to read anyways. And also there are 8 prompts for this readathon, so I have 8 books that I want to read next month, which is insane. I have never read that many books in a month, so this is going to be an absolute sesh. There's 5 mandatory challenges for Team Aphrodite. Firstly, read a romance, obviously, because she is the goddess of passion and love. So I'm going to go with one of the most passionate books that I've ever read. I'm doing a reread of Twilight by Stephenie Meyer. It is a paranormal, fantasy, vampire romance, as everyone knows. Who doesn't know about this book at this point? And I read this about 10 years ago, and then I read the rest of the series about 10 years ago, and then I never read any of them ever again. So it has been a long time since I've read this book. However, now that Midnight Sun, which is this book from Edward's perspective, is coming out this year, I am very excited and I want to do a reread of this book finally. I think it'll be very interesting to see if I still give this book a 4 out of 5 stars, which is what I originally gave it. I am a very harsh rater, and the fact that I gave this a 4 out of 5 makes me think maybe it was just because I was 14. But we'll see how we go. So this will be the romance book that I'm reading for the first mandatory prompt. The second mandatory prompt for Team Aphrodite is to read a book with a beautiful cover. I will be reading The Boy, the Mole, the Fox and the Horse by Charlie Macquarie. This is a children's book that I picked up this month, and I am very excited to read it. The cover is absolutely beautiful, but however, the inside of this book is absolutely beautiful as well. So this is just like next level. Look at the back cover. Even the back cover's got it going on, you know what I mean? I am very excited to read this book. It is going to be a quick, easy read as well, as it is a children's book. It's sort of one of those classic children's books that I want to get around to, so we're picking this up next month as I feel like it'll be a good readathon pick to help me get through reading some bigger, chunkier books. I'm not exactly sure what this book is about, and I sort of want to keep it that way. I am already excited about it just because of the graphic design of the novel and because of the hype that's sort of around it. It's not so much hype as it is just love. I've only heard good things about this book, and I do love reading children's books. So we're just going to keep it at that, not really knowing too much. I'm just going to go into this a bit blind, and I already feel like I'm going to love it anyways. I don't need to know what it's about, you know? So the next mandatory challenge for Team Aphrodite is to read a book with a strong, independent female main character. As soon as I heard this prompt, this book was coming out. It is The Hero of Ages, the final book in the Mistborn trilogy by Brandon Sanderson. This is a high fantasy trilogy and is about essentially what would happen if the bad guy won. So this book is set in a fantasy land where the bad guy won essentially 1,000 years ago. He has full control over the land. It's very sad, it's very depressing, and it's about this girl called Vin, and it's just about her and her journey in this land. I don't want to say anything more than that, but it's really, really good. And this is the 3rd book in this trilogy. I read the 2nd one last month, and I want to get to this one this month. I have issues though because this book is very long, and it took me 2 months to read the 2nd one, and I don't know how I'm going to read this in a month and also read 7 other books, but we're going to see how we go. It's going to be very interesting to see what happens with me next month. I'm feeling like really pumped to read a lot, and like I wouldn't put all these books out here if I wasn't feeling like I could do it. It'll just be very interesting to see me actually do it, because like I don't usually read this much. I don't know, it's a hard one, but this is the chunkiest book on my TBR for this readathon, so if I can get through this, I can get through anything in a month. So we'll see how we go with you. We'll see how we go. Next mandatory challenge is to read a classic. For this, I'm going to read Crime and Punishment. Don't kill me. Please don't kill me, future Kira. I'm sorry if what I'm doing to you is torture. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. Maybe we're gonna have fun with this. So this is Crime and Punishment by Dostoevsky. Here's what happened. I went to my dad's and I picked up a shorter book by Dostoevsky. And then I told Dad why I wanted to pick up that shorter book. It was because I wanted to read a shorter one by Dostoevsky before I got to this more dense one. And my dad turned to me and he said, "Why would you do that? Dostoevsky's best book is Crime and Punishment. It's in my top 5 books of all time." And I was just like, oh, no one has as much of a similar taste to me as my dad does. My taste is born out of my dad's taste, essentially. So if my dad says a book is in his top 5 books of all time, I've just got to go pick it up. Like, my dad never tells me what to do, but he literally told me, he was like, "You gotta read this book." So I was like, I gotta read this book. Also, the reason I have this book is because it's my best friend's favorite book of all time, and he gave it to me and recommended it to me like a year ago, and I still haven't read it, and I just feel bad at this point, and I'm just like, everything's telling me to just pick this book up and go for it. So we're gonna pick this book up and go for it, and hopefully it pans out. You know, and here's the thing, it's not the end of the world. If I pick it up and I read a bit of it and it's just not what I'm feeling like reading, and I feel like I have to go read something else by him first, I will put this book down and go read something else by him first. I've got other classics I can pick up as well, but I'm going to try and put this as the classic that I'm going to read this month, because I know myself pretty well and I feel like I'm going to enjoy this. But I may eat my own words by the end of this month, so I gotta eventually do it anyways, right? Like, I've eventually got to read this book anyways, so better late than never. And the last mandatory prompt for Aphrodite is to read one of the challenges for Ares, which is another god. So I looked through the prompts for Ares and I picked the prompt, read a book that has a red cover. So I'm going to read a book that I picked up recently, and that would be Akira Volume 1. This is a manga series from the 80s, one of like the classics of manga. I already own the second one and I recently picked this up because I wanted to get started on the series, and I also feel like maybe reading a manga during this readathon, especially after reading Crime and Punishment and The Hero of Ages, I might want to read something that's going to be easy. So we're picking up a manga. I've been feeling like picking up a manga for a really long time as well, and I'm really excited to read these because my dad once again loves Akira and it has my name in it. Like, I just feel like it's all happening here. This is the book for me. Oh my god, I'm already going insane just talking about all these books, like, let alone trying to read them all. Trying to read them all in a month is gonna freak me out, dude. I'm already freaking out. When you think about it, all these books are pretty easy to read apart from 2 of them, The Hero of Ages and Crime and Punishment, so it's not that bad. I'm just sitting here trying to convince myself it's okay. So with that is the 5 mandatory prompts that I need to complete first to sort of be not a failure, essentially. So here you go. This is what's happening. This is my, oh my god, what? Okay, no, we're not picking that up and looking at that. And we're just gonna go on to the bonus challenges. So essentially what happens with this readathon is you read the mandatory ones first, and you need to fully complete those 5 mandatory books before you can do the bonus challenges. So I've got some books for the bonus challenges. However, I'm gonna be happy if I just do the mandatory ones. I'll show you what I would pick up for the bonus ones if the bonus ones are something I can get to. So let's see how we go. So the first advanced challenge or bonus challenge for Aphrodite was archery, and that is to read a book that's less than 200 pages. For that, I'm going to probably pick up What I Talk About When I Talk About Running by Haruki Murakami. This is 179 pages, and I think after some really heavy books from my mandatory challenges, it will be very nice to pick up a shorter book that's also quite small, so there's very little on each page as well. And I also love Murakami. He's one of my favorite authors of all time, so I'm really keen to read some more Murakami this month. So next advanced challenge is canoeing. For canoeing, it is read a book that has a blue cover. For that, I've got The Little Prince by Antoine de Saint-Exupéry. Exupéry? So this is the book that I will be reading for a blue cover. It is blue enough in my opinion. It's got this little bit of white, but whatever. This is another children's classic that I've been hearing about a lot in my life and something that I eventually wanted to get to. I picked it up recently and I'm really excited to read it. So that's what we're going to do. Once again, it's quite a short book and not much on each page. So I feel like that's what I'm sort of trying to go for with these advanced challenges, because I know after reading all the mandatory books, I'm not going to want to read something that's also really intense, and I probably won't have that much time for these books. So we're doing something a little small. And the last advanced challenge is Pegasus writing, which is read a book published within the last 5 years. With that, I'm going to go with Normal People by Sally Rooney. I wanted to read this book anyways. I heard a lot of good things about it, but I also wanted to read it now specifically because the series came out, the TV series. So I really wanted to pick this up very soon so I can get to that TV series. I think that this is an adult fiction and it's about two people and just about their relationship and how it develops over the course of some years. And one of them is from like low class and one of them is from high class, but it sounds interesting and it sounds a little sad and I like sad stuff. Can I hold it up but have my eyes closed so you guys can see it but I don't see it? So that's not really gonna work because I'm gonna edit it and I'm gonna have to edit it with my eyes closed, which is not gonna work. Oh. Thank you all for watching. I'm going to now go freak out a little bit about what I'm trying to get myself to do. If anything, I can just read all the shorter books. Please subscribe for more book videos as well as music videos. I do about a half-half split on this channel and I will talk to you all very soon. Thank you, bye.